So today is Friday, the 27th of June, 2025, and we're having our morning analysis session. Good morning, Madam Onaji. Now we have Spanish fly CPI by 8 o'clock this morning. Just a second. All right, so Spanish fly CPI will come by 8 a.m. this morning. That's less than an hour from now. And in the afternoon by 1:30 p.m., there'll be GDP from Canada, that's gross domestic product, and it will come on simultaneously with the core PCE price index from the United States. Later by 3 p.m., there'll be revised UOM consumer sentiment. All right, so this morning session, the focus is going to be on the Eurozone. Then I'll give you my guide for the afternoon, even though we're still going to have a session on that, but I'll just tell you what I feel about the Canadian currency, especially the one that I believe from analysis will be moving in the afternoon session. So let's go over to the chart to see what will happen to the euro this morning. Now, generally, most of the Europeans are showing a weak sentiment this morning, and as such, we might be looking at a bearish possibility for the euro when the Spanish fly CPI is released by 8 a.m. Now, we don't know if this is going to really move the market so much or not, but because it's even a medium impact event. But judging with what is on the chart technically, you might still take a position ahead of time. So for the euro, I'll check the euro UST, the euro AUT, and any other euro pair that aligns with my view. I hold the bearish outlook on the euro, and this are my reasons. Number one, for the euro USD on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that price, is trading around a resistance, a support turned resistance here. So technically, we'll be looking at a bearish movement on the euro USD with a support on resistance on the weekly time frame. Without wasting time, we'll take it down to 1 hour. And this is what we'll have. We'll have a kind of a double top, up here, and price is already trending down. And it's around it's about breaking out below the trend line that you've seen me draw up there. Yeah, we can add a second trend line at the back to give it a rising wedge outlook, which is still very, very fine. To have a rising wedge here. So technically, we're going to be bearish on the Spanish fly CPI that will come up by 8 o'clock. So if by 8 o'clock this morning, the data is released from the Eurozone and it comes out bad for the euro, that will mean that the technical and the fundamental are aligned, and that will lead to a bearish movement on the euro USD. So we're bearish on the euro USD, but we'll wait till 8 o'clock for the data from the Eurozone to be released. Now, what if the data comes out good for the euro? If the data comes out good for the euro, price may just go ahead to retest this trend, but ultimately I still see it, dropping. The only thing is that we need to also know there's this minor support level here, which we want to look at it from a technical angle. We want to be sure price, breaks out below this technical. But if the news comes out and it's, less than forecast, you can go ahead and trigger a sell immediately. However, if it comes out, greater than forecast, just wait, let price retrace and break out below that support zone to trigger itself. So overall, we are bearish on the euro USD. Like I said, I'm also looking at the euro AUT because I can see there is a kind of a general weakness on the euro pairs. So I'm looking at the euro AUT also, and I can see weakness. Even the euro New Zealand, but then I'm not having much confirmation for that one. So let's go with the euro AUD. Euro AUD too seems to have some measure of weakness. Now this is the euro AUD on the, okay, let me clear off all this. On the daily time frame, you can see that price hit a resistance zone previously, and price has been ranging around that resistance in the last like 3 days thereabout. Price has been ranging. Now, when price is ranging around the level, is because it cannot break that level and might be looking for an opportunity to reverse, in this case, downwards. So we saw that movement on that resistance on the daily time frame. Now, this is the 4-hour time frame, and on one angle, I actually see this as a head and shoulder pattern. Shoulder, head, second shoulder, and price seems to have broken down below the neckline region. Shoulder, head, second shoulder, and price has broken down. So again, just like we saw for the Euro USD. Now, please, as you join this class, always mute your device. We will not ignore the fact that there is a minor support here, but price is not touching it yet. So again, if the data comes out bad for the euro, we may see a further bearish movement on the euro AUD. So we're bearish on both the euro USD and the euro AUD. And that will take effect when the data from the eurozone is released by 8 a.m. this morning. Now, aside from these two instruments, the other pair I'm really putting a lot of my attention on, in fact, the one that I have a very good setup for today, high probability setup, is GBP card. The GBP card. Now, this is the GBP card on the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, GBP card closed as a rejection candle yesterday. And not only that, it closed on this level. All right, so technically, I'm going to be looking for a bearish movement on the GBP card today. This one is a high probability setup, so don't miss the opportunity on this one when the breakout happens eventually. Now we take it down to the 1 hour time frame, and on the 1 hour, what I'm seeing here is the formation of a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and we anticipate a breakout after that, and we can take this region here as our next line region. So if price breaks out below this trend line, it will be a time to trigger itself on the GB card. Now, we should not neglect the fact that there is also going to be a news from Canada this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. And the direction of that news will determine the next movement. But in reality, we are bearish already. We have a bearish outlook. So if the data comes out good for the card, that will lead to a bearish movement on the GB card. I'll repeat that. If the data from Canada this afternoon, if it comes out good for the Canadian dollar, that is the GDP monthly, if it comes out good for the Canadian dollar, that will lead to a bearish movement on the dollar. But technically, we have a bearish outlook already. We are only waiting for the fundamental to line up with that technical outlook that we already have on the daily card. So even in the course of today, before 1:30 p.m., it's possible we might see the break already. Yes, you can go ahead and trigger yourself even if it happens before the news. But if it does not happen before the news, then wait till the news. Because it's possible you may even retrace a little before the actual breakout happens. Just watch this particular pair closely. This is a high probability setup, for trading for today. So I'm bearish on the Euro USD, I'm bearish on the Euro AUD, and I'm bearish on the GBP card. And finally, I'll look at the USD There's a news coming from the United States this afternoon by 1:30 p.m. And that news might impact upon the dollar, especially the USD JPY. All right, so this is the USD JPY. On the daily time frame, price is seen to be making higher lows and is about to move into the wave of the higher high. This is the higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Now the candle of yesterday closed, with the shadow touching the trend line. So you might be expecting a bullish movement on the USD JPY today. That's the daily time frame. We take it down to the 4 hour and nothing much on the 4 hour, the 1 hour time frame. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, honestly, nothing really much at the moment, but I can draw my trend line at the second one to give a falling wedge. Now, from the look of things, price seems to have broken out, above the trend line and the same trying to retest the trend line. Now, in the course of today, or even when the data is released from the United States, if price breaks out above this minor resistance here, yes, we can trigger a buy on the USD JPY. So I'm bullish on the USD JPY. All right, so for a final recap for those that are joining us, we're bearish on the Euro USD this morning by 8 a.m. when it needs to be released from the Eurozone. We are bearish also on the Euro AUD. You can choose one out of the two, either you want to trade Euro US or Euro AUD. We are bearish on the GBP card. That's if the data in the afternoon comes out good for the Canadian dollar. And we're bullish on the USD JPY. These are the four assets I've analyzed for this morning. All right, so that'll be all from my analysis this morning. If you have any question, you can go ahead and ask by typing in the comment section. So while waiting for the comments, don't forget next week Friday will be the first Friday in the month of July, and we're going to be trading NFP live. To plan to trade along with us. We traded NFP last month, and we had a very good result. Good profit. So we expect the same thing this month also. GBP, JPY, gold. All right. JPY is trading at a resistance level on the daily time frame. Currently, it's forming a rejection candle, though it's still very early in the day. Anything can happen in the course of the day. But the fact is that it's at a resistance level. Let's ignore the rejection candle part for now. This is 1 hour. So it's actually forming a head and shoulder. I would have preferred that to be at the top of an uptrend, not on a close level with, this region. But notwithstanding, that is what it's forming. But the fact is that it's at a resistance level, so we will not ignore the fact that resistance is transforming into what looks a lot. Okay, I think I can see my trend line from here. So that also gives us a better outlook. All right, so we have a rising wedge on GBP JPY, a rising wedge with a resistance on the daily time frame. Price is about to break out downwards. Okay. Now by 8 a.m. this morning, if you have this current candle, if it closes below this trend line, then okay, let's see as possible. There is actually a neckline where price must break out below. Have a neckline region. So once a new candle breaks out below that support zone, which is the neckline region, you can trigger a sell on the GBP JPY. So we're bearish on the GBP JPY. Another person asked that I check gold. Gold is about to break out below a support level. We can see it's breaking out below after a resistance level on the daily time frame here. Price has broken out below the trend line, but then it's still trading around this support zone, minor support level. Let's go down to 4-hour time frame. Okay, the current 4-hour candle has clearly broken out below that daily support, but still trading around a support again on the 4-hour. That is, it's trading around this support. All right, at this point, two things could happen to gold. On the short term, this can be a double bottom reversal pattern, which will trigger a bullish movement. That's a possible one. And the other side to it is that price may go ahead to break this support, retest, and continue. So we're at a critical point on gold now where price will either break out upwards or break out downwards. So we just have to watch and see as this unfolds in the course of the day. Let me take it down to 1 hour again to see. It's still the same thing. Either we want to look at it either on the 4-hour, 1 hour, or even let's check the 15 minutes. Still the same thing. So we want to see how price will move. If it's going to go bullish, this is the 15 minutes time frame. Then you want to see price break out above this region to go up. That is if it's going to go bullish. And if on the other hand, it's going to go bearish, then we want to see price break out, retest, and continue further. So just watch out and let's see in the course of the day how this unfolds. But like I always say, don't always forget that in this season we're in, there's a lot of geopolitical tension between US and Iran, Israel, Iran, which may affect the price of gold. So trade gold with a lot of caution. All right, I don't have any other question after this. So at this point, we need to bring this analysis to an end. If you're on the platform this morning, you don't have an account with PU Prime, just go back straight to our website at www.puprime.com to open a live trading account so that you don't miss out on the opportunities that we're giving right here for you to make money with PU Prime. And also, we have the 5X group where we drop signals. This week alone, over 300 pips has been generated from the 5X group. If you're still sleeping on this, well, you're leaving so much money on the table. Those in the group will confirm quality signals, high probability signals have been dropped in this group. The aim is to help you grow your account to 5 times the amount you funded over a period of time. Meaning, if you funded like $1,000 over a period, the account is expected to grow to 5,000. And I tell you that we're hitting that goal very soon because the quality signals keep generating profit for our clients. So if you want to be a part of the 5X, just go ahead and reach out to your account manager. The account manager will guide you on how to get started. All right, so we've come to the end of the analysis session this morning. Do take care, trade safe, and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a very great and beautiful weekend.
You too, man.
Thank you, sir.